Okay. Alright. Hold on a second, guys. Let me move some of this stuff out of the way. We got... I always have to do this whenever I record. That's the bachelor life for you. We got a watermelon. Get that out of the way. We got guitar case. Go ahead and move that. Oh, loaf of bread. Used underwear. Oh, God. Spray painted AR-15 buffer tube assembly without the spring. AK-47 bayonet. What else do we have? Electrical equipment. We got gun belt with a gun in it. Oh, my hat. Rag. Okay. Alright, now that that's all out of the way, we can settle in here. Ooh, the seat's kind of squished from that watermelon. That's going to make a fun video. Hello there, people of the internet. How's everyone doing today? I'm doing alright. Thanks for asking. I am covered in, like, what the hell is this? What the hell? I got, like, roof shavings all over me. That's what it looks like, but there's nothing wrong with my roof. I have no idea. I have no idea where that came from. It's just little bits of wood. Anyway, today is an experiment. Today I have no idea what's going to happen. I genuinely do not know what is going to happen with what we're going to be doing. So here's the general concept of what I want to do today. I have me a mason jar with some water in it, and I have 3 different types of ammunition here. They're 7.62 by 39 ammunition, but 3 different casings. There are also technically 3 different projectiles as well, but I don't think the projectiles are going to really matter. It's still going to be interesting to see how the projectiles react, though. So we have a brass case 7.62 by 39, a steel case without any lacquer on it. This is just regular old steel case. That's a full metal jacket. Then we have a hollow point steel case with lacquer on it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take this ammunition, I'm going to set it inside of this water, and we're going to leave it there for a specific amount of time. I'm probably going to leave it there for like 3 days, check on it, then 7 days, 14 days, all the way up until we hit like 4 weeks worth of stuff. I think that's going to make an interesting video. I was going to do this anyway because I thought that it would be really interesting to experiment with it. I am curious to see if at the end of the day, I'm fairly certain that none of this is going to be usable anymore. This is live ammunition, fireable ammunition. I've actually fired ammunition from the lots of which I got this stuff from. I think this was like from a surplus can. This is just toll ammo ammunition. And this was from one of those surplus cans that came from, like, I think it was China, back whenever you could get 7.62 by 39 real cheap from them. So, this stuff will fire if I stuck it into an AK-47 and fired it. But we're going to go ahead and stick it into water instead. And we're going to see what sort of corrosion we see throughout the course of probably the next month or so. I want to see if water manages to erode the casings. I want to see if it manages to get itself in through either the primer area or in through the projectile casing. I want to see what sort of corrosion we have on the outside of the casing or on the projectile itself. The copper should turn like a nice pretty green color, so I'm looking forward to that. It will be interesting to see what happens. And like I said, I have no idea what's going to happen. For all I know, I don't think that the brass case ammunition is going to really significantly suffer. I have brass case ammunition laying out in my yard that's been there forever, and it like hasn't really done anything besides darkening color. So I don't think the brass case is going to really suffer. The copper projectile might. The actual lacquer steel case, this one I'm curious about. How protected is this with that lacquer on it? It does look like it has a sealant around the bullet and around the primer, so that'll be interesting. rather than go out there and try shooting these, we're just going to go ahead and pull them apart, because with the corrosion on the projectile, I don't want to risk blowing up the gun. The steel case, this thing's going to be no longer existing. That's my prediction. It's going to be no longer existing by the time we are done with this experiment. So I'm going to go ahead. Oh god, this goes against, as a gun guy, this goes against absolutely everything I believe in whenever it comes to ammunition storage. And so often, like 7.62 by 39 brass case, especially the old Comblock stuff, it's like almost gold to the gun community. You give an AK guy that runs AKs all day, you know, 90% of them will run steel case stuff. I know I do. And like, you give them brass and they're like, oh, it's like literal gold. Goodbye, little brass case ammo. I mean, it's just one round, so who really cares? I don't know how many rounds I have. Alright, well, no bubbles came up from that one, so that's a plus. In memory of our lost cartridge there, I will have to get like 1,000 rounds of Fiocchi 7.62 by 39. Like real nice, shiny stuff. That is going to be nice. Alright, so no bubbles came out of our brass case ammo, which means that it is sealed. Going to drop our steel case in there. No bubbles came out of that one either. Now, if you take a 7.62 by 39 round and you hold it up to your ear and you shake it, you can actually hear that there is air in there. There is room where that gunpowder is moving. So the lack of bubbles means that it is sealed, which is good. Yep, this one is also sealed. I'm going to drop that in there as well. No bubbles came up from that one. And now, it's kind of cool. They kind of like, they're sitting in like almost triangular form. It will be interesting to see if the corrosion from one forces another one to corrode. That will be neat to watch. Well, we're just going to kind of let this sit here. I'm going to cover it with this. Open this bag so we get rid of any air bubbles. Cover it with this. Put a rubber band on it. I got this. Don't even worry about it. I got this. Perfect. Fantastic. Alright, we're going to check on this in like 3 days, unless nothing happened. If nothing happened, it's not worth recording in 3 days, so I'll just like start my recording if either a month passes or something happens. So stay tuned for that. I guess I should probably put my watermelon and used underwear back on my chair here. This way they're not just... Alright, real quick, before we wander off, I just stuck them in there. This is not like days later or something. I want to... Wow. Interesting. Already it looks like the lacquer on this one, the lacquer on the 7.62 by 39 is like starting to almost bubble. That is cool. That'll be interesting to see what happens. I do not have a 7.62 by 39 aluminum case round. Those are pretty rare. I have seen them out there, but they're pretty uncommon. So I do have a 25 ACP aluminum case. I'm going to go ahead and drop this in there. This isn't really a part of the experiment. This right here is more or less just going to be a one-off thing that I want to see the results. I want to see aluminum sitting in water. Let's see how this goes. Gloink. Perfect. You know, some people throw coins in water and make wishes. I throw live ammunition, intermediate rifle ammunition in the water and make YouTube videos. And this is what I do for a hobby. Alright, well, right off the bat, before we start doing anything, I can tell you right now that the primer on the lacquered case, I see a little bit of bubbling starting to come out of that. So odds are we're going to be soaking the gunpowder in there. Same thing on the regular steel case, but as far as the actual brass case ammunition, I don't see any bubbles whatsoever. The aluminum case, I don't know. I can't tell. It's too far away. Get over here. I still can't tell. Aluminum case is just too small. Okay, now we're going to let this sit for the next couple of days. I will check on it later. Alright, well, it has officially been 1 week since I've stuck this ammunition inside of this water. I was going to do a 3-day count, but it has been a hell of a week. Oh, it's been one hell of a week. I feel legitimately, wholeheartedly traumatized, and I feel like it's going to last for pretty much the remainder of my life. This has been one hell of a week. So we're going to go ahead and take things easy for right now. I got this ammunition soaking in water. It has been exactly 7 days, almost to the time, because it is about noon. Yeah, 43 minutes, or 11:43. Sorry guys, I'm really tired right now. 11:43, so that would be 17 minutes, 16 minutes and some change until it has been damn near 7 days. So we're just going to cut off those couple of minutes. Now, right off the bat, I'm going to say this ammunition does not look like it held up very well. We got a whole lot of rust in there. So what's going to happen is I'm actually going to pour this water out. No sense in getting a bunch of water all over the place. Then we're going to take the ammunition, we're going to check it out. Then we're going to put it back inside of the water. And we're going to leave it there for like another week, and then we'll hop back in on that project. I'm probably going to cut the video because I don't want it to run too long between like the start of the project and then like the end of week 1. Then part 2 is going to be the end of week 2, end of week 3, then end of week 4, because I don't expect checking the ammunition to take very long. Okay, well, let's pour out the water and check out week 1's results. Alright, well, I can honestly say there's only one time where I've ever been legitimately grossed out by ammunition. This is definitely not even a close second to that, but it is still a time where I was grossed out by ammunition. Let's check this out. So, immediately, I'm looking at the brass case, and the brass itself seems perfectly fine. I'm not seeing any real legitimate tarnishing on it. There's a bit of rust on it, but brass doesn't rust, so that tells me that's from the steel. The projectile itself is no longer nearly as shiny as it was, and it does have a little tiny bit of corrosion on it. So that is interesting. The brass is also not nearly as shiny as it was. I kind of feel bad because this was a beautiful little piece of ammunition, but there you go. Not much happened to the brass ammunition while we left it in water. I'm not sure if there's water in there. We'll find that out at the end of the testing whenever I open these up and we check out the gunpowder. Okay, next up, this right here is our lacquered steel case. I think it's the lacquered steel case. I don't know, no, this is not the lacquered steel case. This is just the straight steel case, and there is rust all over the thing. Down back towards the primer pocket, of course, same story. Bunch of rust. The projectile itself, there is more corrosion on this projectile than there is on the brass case projectile, but I'm not entirely sure why. It's possible that this right here is just straight copper jacket over the lead core of the bullet. Perhaps this here is like a bimetal jacket, so it's corroding a little bit faster. Alright, up next, I can say, beyond all reasonable doubt, that the projectile on our lacquered case round is definitely far more corroded than the others. However, I will also say that other than the primer packet on the back, which apparently these guys use steel primers versus the brass primers that those seem to use, the primer is like littered with rust. But the case itself, I'm not really seeing much rust. I mean, there's a little bit around the thing, but it's surprising how well this one is held up, considering that it's just steel sitting in water. So, oh yeah, now we have the little oddball. 25 ACP, this is the aluminum round. It doesn't look like it changed at all. There's some rust staining from the metal case 7.62x39, but I'm not seeing anything in here. So here's what I'm gonna do for the next couple of weeks.
very interesting that these results have been the way that they have been. I was expecting them to be like way more deteriorated by now, but I guess that's not the case. So we are going to help them out. I am going to take the same ammunition, put it back inside of the water, except this time I am going to stick some salt in the water. So that is going to be interesting. I feel like the salt inside of the water is going to really tear these fuckers up. Alright, well, thanks for watching this particular episode, guys. If you want to see... I put a lot of salt in this water. If you want to see the end results to this experiment, make sure you subscribe down below, because... I don't know, I think I might... I know I said I was going to do this for a month, but I might just, like, run this until these bullets stop, like, being recognizable. I think that would be pretty cool. Like, how long can they last kind of experiment. That would be neat. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed this. I do all kinds of really neat content on this channel. Go ahead and check out the rest of the channel. Speaking of channels, check out the link down below. You're going to find a link to my second channel. It's a gaming channel where I get drunk, play video games, stick them online. Only reason I'm doing that is because I don't know if the tyrannical YouTube is going to take down my gun channel, and I need a secondary fallback plan. So that's my secondary fallback plan. Go check that out. I have a lot of fun doing that. This experiment is going to sit right there for the next 7 days. It might not be 7 days whenever you guys see it, but it will in fact be 7 days upon the next recording. So thanks for watching, guys. Go off, have a fantastic day. Been a little while since I've done this. Bonnie and Clyde be damned. The poor man's Garen. It's a shame that bolt-action shotguns aren't more mainstream.